Tell me the truth. Ever felt envious of someone whose life often sets into the right places? Opportunities just fall into place for them while you push, strive, and do everything right, yet nothing changes. It feels like you're trapped in a loop, repeating the same struggles, fighting for progress that never seems to come. But what if the real reason had nothing to do with luck, destiny, or even your own effort? What if there was an unseen force silently shaping your reality, opening doors for some while keeping others locked out? The truth is, there is a practice, one that shifts everything. And you'll get it once you sit through this entire episode. Yes, what we just discussed is true. An invisible force is shaping your life right now, determining how you see the world and how the world responds to you. And the craziest part? It's happening without you even realizing it. This isn't some mystical idea. It's pure science. Your brain functions like a filter, deciding what you notice and what you ignore. It's designed to recognize patterns that confirm your deepest beliefs. If you believe that making money is difficult, your brain will constantly highlight financial struggles while ignoring opportunities that could change everything. If you grew up thinking true love doesn't exist, you'll unconsciously attract relationships that reinforce that belief. This means that right now, you could be surrounded by incredible possibilities, but your mind simply isn't allowing you to see them. Your brain is wired to keep you in familiar territory, even if that territory is holding you back. No matter how much you consciously want change, your subconscious might still be hitting the brakes. But here's the good news. This conditioning isn't permanent. You can reprogram your mind to recognize new opportunities, to see paths that once seemed invisible. And when you do, things will start shifting in ways that feel almost magical. Suddenly, the right doors open, the right people appear, and what once felt impossible becomes second nature. If you've ever tried to change your life but kept ending up in the same place, it's not because you failed. It's because your internal system wasn't aligned with where you wanted to go. Now that you understand this, the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Your focus shapes your reality, and at the center of this is something called the Reticular Activating System. It might sound complex, but it's actually a simple and powerful mechanism inside your brain. Let me explain how it works. Ever decide to buy a car or a phone and suddenly you start seeing that exact model everywhere? It's not that more people suddenly bought it. It was always around. The difference is that now your mind is tuned in to notice it. Your RAS acts like a mental radar, constantly scanning your surroundings and filtering out what doesn't match your beliefs and priorities. But here's the problem. It doesn't distinguish between positive and negative. It simply reinforces whatever you already believe. If you think money is hard to earn, your RAS will highlight struggles and block out financial breakthroughs. If you believe love is difficult, your RAS will filter out healthy relationships and focus on situations that confirm your fears. But it goes even deeper. Did you know your brain can't tell the difference between reality and imagination? Think about it. Have you ever dreamed you were falling and woken up in a panic? Your mind reacted as if it was really happening. Let's say, before a big presentation, you keep imagining yourself messing up, stumbling over words, freezing in front of everyone. The more you visualize failure, the more anxious you become. Let me give you a simple tip. Imagine the opposite. Picture yourself speaking with confidence, feeling in control, finishing strong. Trust me, you'll nail that session. That's the power of visualization. When you imagine something vividly, your brain starts working to make it real. When you do this, your brain naturally starts searching for ways to turn your vision into reality. It's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, opportunities begin to appear almost as if by magic. From today onward, try this. Visualize your goals with as much detail and emotion as possible. If you're someone looking for financial success, Imagine yourself receiving money. Picture the exact numbers in your bank account and feel the joy and gratitude that come with it. If you desire a loving relationship, visualize moments of happiness with someone who truly cherishes you. Believe me, when you start living your dreams in your mind first, the world around you shifts quickly to align with that vision. Now that you understand how imagination shapes reality, I need to tell you something crucial, something that might be blocking your dreams from becoming real. It's almost like there's an invisible barrier preventing things from flowing in your favor. For years, I struggled without realizing why. And maybe you're facing the same challenge right now. Let me explain. Growing up, we've often heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees, and success requires sacrifice. These messages conditioned me to believe that achieving my goals had to be a struggle. So, no matter how hard I worked, everything felt exhausting, like I was constantly swimming against the current. Sound familiar? Maybe you've been told things like, there's no such thing as an easy life, or true love always ends in pain. Without realizing it, these beliefs got embedded in your subconscious, shaping the way you see the world. And here's the problem. When your mind is programmed with limiting beliefs, it actively resists positive change. Always imagine your brain as a computer, and these negative beliefs are viruses slowing down the system. Even when you visualize success, your subconscious keeps throwing up roadblocks, whispering, "This is too good to be true," or "You don't deserve this." And just like that, you unconsciously sabotage your own progress. Now take a moment to reflect. How many times have you let an opportunity slip away because you doubted yourself? How often have you held back from taking a big step forward because deep down you felt unworthy of success? These silent patterns are what keep so many people stuck in the same place year after year. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay trapped in this cycle. Just as I learned to break free from these limiting beliefs, you can too. The first step is recognizing that these thoughts exist, not blaming yourself, but understanding that they were passed down to you. The second step is replacing them with empowering beliefs that support your growth. Right now, I want you to say to yourself, I deserve all the good things life has to offer. Because the moment you truly start believing this, something incredible happens. The invisible walls begin to crumble, and life finally starts delivering the success, happiness, and love you've always wanted, effortlessly and naturally. So the big question now is, how do we reprogram our minds for success? Before I reveal the key to making affirmations work, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever tried using positive affirmations but felt like they didn't work? Maybe they sounded fake or you just couldn't believe them? If that's the case, drop a comment FAKE. Now, if you've ever felt like affirmations don't work, trust me, you're not alone. At first, saying positive phrases out loud might feel awkward, almost like you're lying to yourself. You might say something like, I am successful, but your mind instantly responds with, no, you're not. Sound familiar? That's when I realized something that changed everything. Simply repeating affirmations isn't enough. The secret lies in the emotion behind the words. If you just say, I can do this, but don't believe it, it's just empty words. But when you say it with real conviction, everything shifts. So here's a challenge for you. Try this simple daily routine. Every morning, as soon as you wake up, close your eyes for a few minutes and visualize your goals as if they have already happened. If you want a better job, imagine yourself celebrating and receiving congratulations. If you want financial success, picture the peace of mind that comes with seeing your bank balance grow. The key is to feel the excitement as if it's real. Now, here's an important tip. Always frame your affirmations in the present tense. Instead of saying, I want prosperity, say, I am prosperous. Your brain doesn't differentiate between reality and imagination. So the more you affirm something as already true, the easier it becomes for your mind to accept it. And here's another simple but powerful trick. Start creating small pieces of evidence to support your affirmations. If you want to believe you're an organized person, start with small habits like tidying your desk or organizing your room. These actions reinforce your affirmation and make it feel real. Most importantly, consistency is everything. Saying affirmations once in a while won't change much, but repeating them daily with emotion makes a difference. Over time, this becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. So, let's make this real for you. Choose just one affirmation to start with and write it in the comments. It could be something as simple as, I am worthy of the best. Just writing it down is your first step toward reprogramming your mind. And remember, you have the power to transform your life just by shifting your mindset. You deserve to experience this change. Now that you understand the power of affirmations, let's talk about something crucial, something that took me a long time to realize. For years, I believed that visualization and affirmations were enough, but something was always missing. Then one day, I discovered the one thing that makes all the difference: action. At first, I thought that if I just stayed positive and imagined the life I wanted, things would magically happen. But I found myself frustrated, wondering why nothing was changing. Then I had a conversation that changed my perspective. I asked someone who seemed to succeed at everything what their secret was. I expected some deep, mystical answer, but they simply said, I act as if everything is already mine. I don't wait for things to happen. I make them happen. And that's when it hit me. I needed to act. So let's put this into action right now. Instead of just imagining yourself getting that dream job, improving your health, or finding financial success, take a small step today that aligns with that goal. If you want a better job, act like someone who's already in that position. Be proactive, take on responsibilities, and develop the skills needed. If you want to be financially successful, start by managing your expenses better or learning about investments. It doesn't have to be a big move. Even small, consistent actions send a clear message to the universe that you're ready. Now here's a challenge for you. Think about something you truly want to attract into your life. What's one small action you can take right now that reflects that goal? Take that first step, no matter how small, and share it in the comments. This simple act of commitment is the beginning of breaking through inertia. The truth is, once you start acting towards your goals, you create momentum. The more you act, the more opportunities appear. And when opportunities appear, you feel even more motivated to keep going. It's a positive cycle that keeps building. So don't just wait for life to happen. Make it happen. The universe always rewards those who take the first step. As you take action, you might start noticing something strange, things falling into place in ways that seem too perfect to be coincidences. It might feel like you're being guided toward the right choices at just the right time. That's when you start to understand the power of intuition. But here's an interesting question. Do you consider yourself more of a rational thinker or an intuitive person? Comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear how you approach decisions. At first, I didn't believe intuition played a role in success. I thought everything had to be logical and calculated. But then I had a moment where I went against logic and followed my intuition, and it changed everything. Have you ever had a moment where your gut feeling led you to an amazing outcome? If so, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. That's when I realized how important it is to strengthen intuition. And one key to this is something most people overlook: the pineal gland. This small gland in the brain works like a receiver, picking up signals from the universe and helping us make the right decisions. But if it's blocked by stress, negativity, or unhealthy habits, it becomes harder to trust our inner voice. So here's something I want you to try. For 1 week, take a few minutes each day to disconnect from distractions, sit in silence, and just listen to your thoughts. You might be surprised at the answers that start coming to you. And if you've ever had a moment where your intuition was spot on, let me know in the comments. I bet your story could inspire someone else to start trusting their inner voice. Once you tune into your intuition, the next step is getting clear on your goals. A vague wish like "I want more money" or "I want a better job" doesn't cut it. Imagine walking into a restaurant and just telling the waiter, "Bring me something good." Chances are you won't get exactly what you wanted, but when you're specific, when you clearly define what you want, the universe responds with precision. So here's another challenge. Take a moment to write down a detailed version of something you want. Not just a better job, but the exact role, salary, and work environment. Not just more money, but a clear financial goal. Put it in the comments and declare it to yourself. It's the first step toward making it real. And remember, persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who stop halfway. If you've ever started something with excitement only to give up later, drop a comment saying, "It's happened to me." Trust me, you're not alone. But here's the secret. Those who achieve big things aren't necessarily the smartest, luckiest, or most talented. They're the ones who keep going when others give up. They push through setbacks and keep showing up. The universe responds to that kind of persistence, opening doors that seemed locked before. So instead of just imagining a promotion, I put what I learned into action. I started showing up earlier, taking on more responsibilities, and solving problems before anyone even asked. And you know what? It worked. In no time, people began to see me differently, and new opportunities started coming my way. The crazy part? I didn't make any huge, dramatic moves. It was the small, consistent actions that made all the difference. Every step reinforced my belief that I was ready for this new reality, and the universe seemed to take notice. It's almost like every action sends a signal saying, "I'm ready for more." Now maybe you're wondering, where do I start? It's actually simpler than you think. Think about what you want most in life. Now picture a small action that someone who already has it would take today. Don't wait, do it now. Even if it seems minor, the key is to break the cycle of hesitation and get moving. See, when you start taking action, you create momentum. One step leads to another, and before you know it, opportunities start appearing. It's like a snowball effect. The more you act, the more doors open. But if you sit around waiting for life to change, nothing happens. You have to make it happen. And once I started taking action, something wild happened. It was as if life started placing the right opportunities in front of me at the right time. At first, I chalked it up to coincidence, but after a while, it became too obvious to ignore. That's when I realized the power of intuition and how deeply it's connected to manifestation. Now, I've always been a logical person. I needed to see things to believe them. Maybe you're the same way. If so, drop a comment. Are you more rational or intuitive? I'd love to know. At first, trusting my intuition was tough. But one day, I had a tough decision to make, a job offer that looked great on paper, but something inside me said no. For the first time, I ignored logic and trusted that feeling. And it turned out to be one of the best decisions of my life. That one choice led to doors I never even knew existed. That's when I started digging deeper into intuition and learned about the pineal gland, the tiny part of our brain that acts like a built-in antenna, picking up signals from the universe. The problem? Stress, negativity, and bad habits can block it, making it harder to trust those inner nudges. So I made some changes: more quiet time, meditation, and just being present. And let me tell you, my intuition became so much clearer. You should try this for just a week, setting aside a few minutes a day to disconnect, sit in silence, and just listen to yourself. You'll be surprised at the answers already inside you. If you've ever had a moment where your intuition led you to something amazing, share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to start trusting their own instincts, but intuition is just one part of the equation. The next game changer? Clarity. I used to have vague goals. Things like, I want to make more money, or I want to be happy. But that's like walking into a restaurant and telling the waiter, bring me something good. Chances are, you won't get exactly what you want. So I changed my approach. Instead of saying, I want a better job, I wrote down every detail, how much I wanted to earn, the type of people I wanted to work with, the flexibility I wanted. And guess what? A few weeks later, I got a job offer that matched my list almost perfectly. That's when it hit me. When you get clear about what you want, the universe knows exactly how to deliver it. If you feel stuck, try this. Write down your goals in detail. Be specific. Declare it with confidence. Then act as if it's already yours. You'll start to see the difference almost immediately. Want to start right away? Start by commenting, I'm wealthy. Now here's where most people struggle, sticking with it. I won't lie. There were moments when I wanted to quit. When things weren't happening fast enough, I started doubting myself. Sound familiar? If you've ever started something full of excitement only to feel like giving up later, drop a comment saying, it's happened to me. Here's what I learned. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck, it's persistence. It strengthens your commitment and signals to the universe that you're serious. Because every small effort, every tiny step gets you closer to your goal. Imagine looking back one day and realizing that all those small steps led to something incredible. And here's one last secret. If you really want to speed up the process, you have to fully commit. For a long time, I held back, afraid of failing. But transformation only happens when you go all in. So one day, I wrote down my goals in detail. Then I did something even more powerful. I said them out loud. I declared to the universe that I was ready to receive them. Within days, things started shifting. Small opportunities led to bigger ones. The right people, ideas, and resources started showing up, and it all started with one decision: to commit fully. So, I want you to do the same. Write down your dream in full detail. Say it out loud. Feel it as if it's already real. To lock in that commitment, drop this in the comments. I'm ready to receive everything the universe has for me. Because the moment you declare it, you set things in motion. And from now on, act as if you already have it. Ask yourself, what would the version of me who has already achieved this do today? Then, do that. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a method that actually works. Everything we talked about today is powerful, but nothing changes without action. It's time to stop waiting and start creating the life you want. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more value-rich content. See you in the next episode.